that cute little puppy. Charlie came to visit me on Saturday. I had never met Charlie before. He is an 11-week-old. We don't know. His mother was given up for rescue. None of his litter mates looked anything like each other. So there's probably a lot of combinations in there. 11 weeks old. I'd never met him. He'd never been trained this way. His new owner only had him for a week. And all of those things, over the period of, I trained him off and on for about a half an hour, and look at what we were able to accomplish. So I have a question for you. First of all, please, I'd love to know where you're from. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I know some of you, I was reading as we were waiting for the problems to get fixed here. I was reading where some of you are from. If you haven't let me know, please write in where you're from. Let's have some hearts for little Charlie, little 11-week-old Charlie. And in the back, waiting to do a demo, is 10-month-old Waffles, who is posing and stretching, reclining. And Waffles is a mix of mixed heritage himself. He also is a rescue dog. Kim, about 14 weeks old when you got him. And he is a mix mostly of American Bulldog, American Bully, German Shepherd, Malamute are the 4 biggies. And then there's smaller is Husky. What else? Husky, Labrador, and but that's less than 9%. So most of it is the others. Shepherd Huskies. So Kim's going to go in and out and reinforce the puppy for staying on the bed, and maybe break it off and have a tug with him while I'm working, or just make sure that that puppy stays engaged and reinforced for what they're doing. I have a question, and we're going to start by giving away some prizes, giving away 2 prizes right off the bat to start. And well, why don't we just say, if you would like to win one of my favorite tug toys made by For My Merles, nice little Recolors branding, share this live. Say Susan's live. Here's what we're going to be, we're going to be talking dog training, some demos. Look at that good puppy. Didn't leave when the cookie fell. And we're going to talk, I'm going to answer, I've got a list of questions that some of you have left for me. So share it and come on back here and write in the comments shared, and let us know where you shared it, so that the team can go and look and see the share, and then you're put into a draw at the end of today. I'm giving away one of my favorite tug toys. Well, to be honest, I have more. I should have brought over that bag. Oh, well. Okay. So it's fine. So I have a question for you, and that is, on a scale of 0 to 10, how confident are you with your dog training? Like, that you are getting the results you want, that you are going in the right direction? Because today we're going to be talking about the use of food, how you're using your food. Is it helping grow behaviors? Is your dog too distracted by that food? Look at how he gently put one paw down. Now maybe I'll try a second one later. So how confident are you in the direction your dog training is going? Think about it this way. If you were to look back a month ago, and the challenges that you had with your dog is much different now 1 month later, or maybe you didn't have any direct challenge, but you were looking to progress what you've got. How is that progression happening? How happy are you on a scale of 0 being not at all and 10 being great? So Sally says, Sally's one of our online students, 10 out of 10. Living in Dewland, no challenges, confidently working through them. I love it, Sally. Having found you, I'm a 6 or a 7. Beautiful. I love it. 6, 5. I love that. There's a lot of 5s. So 5 being, it could be better. There's room for improvement. And you can also share what it is that you are progressing. Maybe you have a puppy. It's been Puppyville around here lately. There's another one coming next week too, isn't there? Yeah. So maybe you have a puppy. What is it that you're working on, and are you seeing progression? For example, he's just a kook. So for example, you might be working on getting your puppy's nails cut, or working on getting them to bring you back a toy when you throw it. Or so we do have one puppy out there. So what is it that you're working on, and how is that progression happening? We are going to be talking about, now I'm just going to share with you. Today, the questions I'm answering comes from our video series over at DoggyFlix.com called The Season of Nuance. You can go over there and you can join 100% free, just because even if you haven't watched a single episode, maybe you haven't even signed up yet, these questions are going to bring a lot of enlightenment. Speaking of lights, can you put those two on for me, please? So you hit the, nope, you don't have to move it, but oh yes, you do to turn it on. Okay. And hit the circly one more time. LOH, the circly one more time. The third one in. Yeah, one more time. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, that's better. My face was really dark. I'm like, ooh. So if you go to DoggyFlix, we have a free series. I believe it's 6 videos in the first part, and then we're going to do a follow-up video. And so as you go along, people ask questions, and I said I would get to as many of these questions as I can. There's some great questions in today's the circly thing. I'm very technical, Sally. Circly thing. First, we're going to give away a couple prizes from our last live, and I'm going to start with the share winner. So a tug toy from For My Merles, and our last lives, this isn't for this lives. We're still going to be giving this lives at the very end today. The share winner from our last live was Agnes Horrath, Horrath. Congratulations, Agnes. Woo, 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 woo. And also, we're giving away today a Propel from the good people at Blue 9. So thank you to both of our sponsors. That's amazing. And I'll tell you how you can win another amazing prize. No, that's good. Kim released them at the end of today. So the Propel winner, I actually have the gem, and I'm going to let you read along with me. Our winner for our gem is, I can't say her name or his name. I am not even going to, all right, I'll try. Hanalka Gadjat. And this was her gem from our last live. What blows me away is that no one has ever taught me how to treat my dog to ensure the action is the important factor. Something as simple like ensuring to say cook, which we call a spotlight, a location-specific reinforcement marker, saying cook before moving my hand so that the dog is not focused on the movement of the hand and the cookie, but what we've asked them to do. Mind blown. Thank you for that. That was a great gem. And I'm going to try and get back to the great comments that you guys have out there. Okay. So you're leaving. So working on my dog when meeting people. She's a 1.5 years old, golden doodle. My guess is she gets really excited when she meets people based on that. I may be putting in a judgment there, but golden doodles are generally pretty excitable. Look at that good boy. So looking at other challenges, and I believe as you state what your challenge is, that you will see as you go through the season of nuance opportunities that you can exponentially improve where you are today with that challenge, or something you just want to train. Well, I'm not really challenged, but my dog doesn't do a very good hold position, like 10-month-old Waffles, or if you saw in the intro video, little Charlie demonstrated. Okay. I need to work on what Waffle's doing right now. The first question that I have for you, LOH, do you know what question I would ask? She said, I have to work on what Waffles is demonstrating right now. What's the first question I'm going to ask her based on what behavior Waffles is demonstrating right now? How is your crate games? That's the first question I'm going to ask.
Yes.
So often people don't invest enough time in the crate games, and then stuff like that gets so easy. But I digress. I'm going to get to some questions right now.
We did talk about that this morning, about those
Absolutely.
relational games that you're seeing in Nuances right now.
Right. So the games that are in Nuance or in the season of Nuance help build this. So the understanding of, I'm going to say, I'm going to pick up a cookie and I'm going to say, good boy, cook. Now, cook doesn't mean come and get the cookie. Cook means stay where you are and I'll deliver that cookie to you. Or let me get a better cookie. I'm going to get a really good one. This one is a big chunk of roast chicken. I might say, search. I did say search. Good boy. No, it's a setup. Search. Yay. What a good man. Were you not sure? Were you not sure? Okay. Or I might say, all right, Waffleino, up it up. Good boy. Okay, so there's different cues that I can give him, but, and you were being really good. I really wanted that chicken. Was it good chicken? Yeah, such a good boy. So these are layers of learning. If I was to, Kim, I'm going to get a job for you to do. I also have one of my dogs here too. But if I was accidentally to drop a bunch of cookies on the floor, that's another layer of learning. Okay, Kim, can you give him one? And then, oh, I'm thinking I get close so I can see them. So we're going to wait for a choice. He's going to either get off that bed and go and steal. Oh, there's just so many options. So if he gets off that bed, I'm going to be quick and try to, but he'll probably get one cookie. I'm not going to put him back on. It's his choice. That's what this game is. It's your choice. It was a pretty good decision for a 10-month-old puppy. We can't wait all day. So Kim's going to get up and she's going to start picking up those cookies. If he goes back on the bed, she's going to give him a cookie.
This conversation is related to something you were reading today, that people need to understand better what layers of learning are. Right.
So there was a question that came in, and I had a great example, but I don't remember. So a question came in about, what does the layers of learning mean? And oftentimes you will go to I hate picking on in-person classes because I think they have real value, your local classes, and mostly to go and show off and get a new environment for your dog to be distracted by. And so what do the layers of learning look like in that? It's, well, sit down, walk on leash, come. But I don't believe there's direct relationships for the dog. So what you've got in the DoggyFlix, the season of Nuance, you've got the opportunity to learn, first of all, how do you get a cookie? It's either the word cook or the word search. And he's still holding on there. His back legs are, what is that? He's spoofing now. So that's how you earn cookies, which means you don't need to look for cookies on the counter. You don't need to lick the plates off the dishwasher. But we go in from those two marker words. That means this is how you're going to earn your cookies. I'm still going to get a little lower, and Kim's going to get up and just put him in the crate. So for a second, maybe not yet. We're still waiting for him to make a decision. So he isn't being great. If I was working, there we go. He's made his decision. I'm coming off. And now Kim's just going to say, come on, buddy, we're going to go for a little walk. And right for the next little while, you can hang out in there. I thought And you can give him a cookie when you put him in there. It's fine. Oh, aren't you rewarding him for being bad? No, I'm not punishing him for being bad either. I'm just saying I set you up in an environment that you weren't ready for. So you can go hang out in there for a little while, and we're going to come back and maybe increase our rate of reinforcement. So the layers of learning are, I would never put a dog in a position to fail without having a plan of what would happen if he was going to fail. I would never put him in a position to fail if I wasn't confident that the layers of learning would allow him to be successful. We did a live with Waffles. What was it? Was he on our platinum? He was on our platinum. So in our platinum call, he was here for 40 minutes and he stayed on there, and he put his paws out a couple of times. He never ever left. So layers of learning in a puppy. You saw in the intro video the layers of learning with Charlie, the little 11-week-old rescue puppy. Those layers of learning allow us to go to wherever we want. So people say to me, I did a little short on the weekend. I was walking my dogs. I asked them to, they told them they could go for a run. In the midst of running, I call one dog back. And how do you get there? Well, it's layers of learning. I don't take a puppy, let them run with my adult dogs, and take that 12-week-old puppy and say, I want you to come now when I call you, because I'm setting that puppy up to fail. Does that make sense to you guys? This is a great question, Joy. So if you put a dog on a bed, say, and he moves, you don't tell him to get back there. That is a brilliant question. So I did a podcast episode. I don't remember. I did it. Let me share you in a little deep, dark secret. When I am doing these podcasts and I say, as we talked about in episode number 26, I don't know those episode numbers. My team puts them in and usually puts a slide over my mouth so you can't tell. So I say, as I talked about in episode, I don't remember, and the team knows to put one in there. So there you go, little tidbit for you. But I talked about in this episode is when we say sit to our dogs, if it's a cue that you've built up with reinforcement, which it has to be because dog behaviors aren't taught any other way, reinforcement builds behaviors, then you get like a classically conditioned response. Stick with me on this. If I click a clicker and your dog's been conditioned to the clicker, just like Pavlov's dog, they're going to salivate because they're going to expect a reward is coming, especially if you go click and use food mostly. If I say sit, there will be a little expectancy from the dog. I might get a cookie this time. It doesn't matter if they're 10 years old. If I do what I say, I might get a cookie this time, because words that we've taught with reinforcement carry the value of the reinforcement. So if my dog got off the bed and I said, hop it up, what reinforcement would the dog be getting? They'd be getting reinforcement with the word hop it up, because it means there's something that if I do this, I might get food. So the word itself carries value. So when your dog isn't doing something, like you call them and they don't come, and then you call them 2 or 3, 4 more times, like it happens to all of us. We're all human. Our dogs are dogs. But you have to take note to myself. I did a live last week, and Dissy didn't come all the way to me when I called her. She came to about, 50 feet away. So I had to call her 2 more times, took note, and I've been working on that ever since. So when you give them a cue in the midst of them doing something, now sometimes it's life-saving. We have to. Like, I called you and you're running towards like a bike path where there's a bunch of cyclists going. I need to call you twice. But just no. Yes, LOH.
So I'm reading the comments. I get the impression that some people have just joined us new to DoggyFlix. We got to get them to DoggyFlix so they can watch the cook and search discussion.
Right. So every time we do one of these lives that we answer some questions, we get many people who aren't in DoggyFlix. You can join by going to doggyflix.com. It's 100% free. I guarantee you, I promise you, I'll give you a full refund on the free if I'm wrong. I guarantee you it will be the absolute best free dog training you have ever received. Because so often, unfortunately, I remember one time somebody had a video and it said, the video said, see how I get my Belgian Malinois to give me the toy when they don't want to. And I'm like, well, I am a student of everybody's dog training. I'd love to see that. I clicked on the video. It was a 5-minute video. Guess what? At the end of the video, they said, give me $50 and I'll tell you the answer. I don't like that. What I like to do is help the world better understand their dogs. So in this video series, which was videoed professionally, a professional film crew, in this series, you get 6 instructional videos that, and with each video, I give you a downloadable ebook, 100% free. All of this for free. Why? Because I'm surrounded by a team who share my love for dogs, and we all want to help dogs worldwide live their best life, and the people that own those dogs learn how to have their best life with their dog. And we know some people just don't have the finances to be in one of our online programs. That's fine. That shouldn't mean you don't get the idea of how you can train dogs and how you can use reinforcement in the best way possible. So Denise said, okay, if she gets off the bed, I say, excuse me, and she gets back on the bed. So is that reinforcing her? Yeah. You're saying you keep trying to get off the bed and I'm going to interfere with a word. And so it doesn't help build that duration. The dog getting off the bed, that is feedback to you. Remember I said when Waffles got off the bed, that was feedback to me. That wasn't Waffles is a bad dog. That wasn't the feedback. The feedback was Waffles just drove here for 3 hours. So he was in a car for probably more than 3 hours. Did you stop anywhere? So probably closer to 4 hours in a crate. And then he went from there to a big X pen in the kitchen. And on the way here, he got just a little rip around. He hasn't been for a big full walk. And then he was asked to sit in hold position. I am a 10-month-old puppy. So that's what he told me. He said, Susan, you kind of set me up for failure. So if your dog gets out of position and you say, excuse me, you're not taking note. I got work to do. You've got to, I personally like to get up and either put them back, which I promise you, they're probably going to come off again, just like with excuse me. Or I say, okay, I'm going to take the pressure away. You can go in. I'll give you a cookie for going here. Like once you're in the kennel, I'll give you a cookie because I'm saying, my bad. I set you up to fail. And next time you come out, I'm going to make sure that you are successful. Okay. I think he can come back out now. Okay. So, but
yeah. So the questions are related today to what?
Thank you. The questions I have now are related to the season of Nuance. However, I consider myself, I have the identity that I am a lifelong learner with a passion for dog training. I'm constantly curious. So if I had the opportunity to sit in on a discussion about training, I love it. To be a fly on a wall about this is what, if you are not in the season of Nuance yet, but you can click the link and get there, or you can go to doggyflix.com and get there. However, you're still going to learn from what I've got to say today, because these questions, just like some of the ones I've already answered, are going to be very, very helpful to you. Okay. So I think this is the first page. This is from Becky. She left this in the DoggyFlix website. And she's on episode 3, which is the It's Your Choice game, which is what we were demonstrating by tossing the cookies on the floor. That does the dog want to just dive on the food? So you'll notice at the beginning, that little intro video with Charlie. Let me know in the comments if I should put that intro video with Charlie in once again. That little intro video with Charlie, he was mugging me for the food in my hands at first when we first started training. And that's all his focus was. And not surprisingly, his owner said he's very, very nippy. And I had this big epiphany. Like, I've been doing this for 35 years as a professional dog trainer. And this just came to me on Saturday training somebody else's puppy. So I assumed, and I'm probably right based on Charlie's behaviors. I said to her, the young woman who owned Charlie, what does he know? He's been with you a week. Is there anything that he knows? And she said he knows a sit and he knows a down and he knows he's starting stay. So I know that the dog would have been done the way most people would with a lure. And I assume, my guess, working with Charlie, that there's a little Jack Russell in that dog. Super smart puppy, has a bit of a look. I could be wrong. Some sort of terrier, I bet, will come back in that DNA. And so what we've done, this could be any breed, is when we're luring, we are doing what? So this is my dog. And my dog sees the cookie and I move it. I might move it up here. So what is the food to the dog now? Imagine that this is a little mouse. Right, it's prey. You bingo bongo, chase the prey. So here is my revelation. This puppy has been taught to chase the prey. It is no wonder she's so nippy, so darn nippy. And when I started playing It's Your Choice with her, not instant, but over the course of the few training sessions I had with her, she stopped trying to nip me. So I'm like, why didn't I put those things together before now? Okay, a lot of you are asking to see that video again. So I will pull it up and I will show it. It's only 1 minute long, so it doesn't matter if we show it one more time. For those of you who either didn't see it or want to see, I want you to notice the things that Charlie, I don't call it naughty. Call it, this is a lump of clay. Not that I'm calling a dog a lump of clay, but here's a analogy. A lump of clay that we've done nothing with. We can't recognize anything that we really want to see. But we can, if we're observant, recognize the things we don't want. So if you are, when you're watching this, see, I might have missed some of the things that I don't want. And then by the end, and I literally, the puppy was here for maybe 50 minutes in total. And we had little breaks where we would talk. Well, I was talking to her owner, but where we would have a little downtime where we'd, talk. So I would guess it was no more than 20 or 30 minutes of training for Charlie. Okay, so let's watch the video. So such a short period of time, but I put in layers of learning. I put in, now one thing that I didn't talk about, that puppy went from working only on a leash because she wanted to go and explore to working off leash and not leaving. So 30 minutes. Would you do 30 full minutes straight with a puppy? No, I would not. that's setting a puppy up to fail. Unfortunately, that's what why puppy classes are challenging. Now, a lot of times they'll have you put your dog in a crate or have them go on their bed. But depending on the age of the puppy, like Charlie was an 11-week-old puppy. I think duration behaviors are really challenging. We want to grow confidence. That's our number one goal when we're training a puppy. That's the number one goal when I'm training you, is I want to instill confidence in you that you're making the right decisions with your puppy or your dog. And that's why these games are set up. And if you can get this right, then we're going on to the next thing. There's always a game within the game for me. So as an instructor, I will be teaching you something that will give you something really good. But what you don't know is I'm taking you to a place where you're going to get something amazingly better. But I don't want to overwhelm you. I'll just silently build in things that help you get ready for the next layer. Okay. So, all right, I'll get back to some of those questions. I want to get back to here. So first question was, these questions are about it's your choice, which is Kim just threw a cookie on the floor and Waffles just ignored it. All right. And so I'm going to get Waffles out. Let me just do something simple with him, just so that he doesn't have to sit there. But what I'm going to do is when I'm doing something simple with him, I'm going to put 2 bowls of food on the floor. All right. So chicken and an overflow bowl of, I'm going to put these on the floor. Cold turkey. I'm going to just put these. I'm going to change the camera so I can work in a bigger area. Hold on.
There's a question that maybe you can think about while you're doing this.
Yep.
How many different games do you do in a session? So
okay, we'll come back to that.
I'm,
okay, I'm going to tell you guys, you might not be able to hear me very well. So just watch the training. Can you see that? Prophet thinks it's all about him. I'm not playing with you right now. You look up at these. It's the puppy who's being so good. Oh, great. Fine. So I'm letting you know that that is there. Yeah. Where can I put you? Ready? Ready. You are not. Turkey. Ready? We'll change the environment a little bit. Ready? Yeah. That's a good boy. That's a good one. Go. Nice.
Sure.
I gave him chicken that time. You got chicken. Okay, we're gonna try it again over here this time. Oh, this is hard. Bring me. Right. Cook. Ready? Up and down. So good, mister. So you can't see, but he went back to his hot zone over there. I'll just put that there. There. So there he is, being a good boy. Those cookies are still over there on the floor. You can go pick them up if you want, Kim. So layers of learning. Linda had a great observation that when you are asking the dog to engage their brain, it changes their focus for work. I asked him a very tough question to start. Can you go buy the food and retrieve the toy? No, but I can go with this crate because it's easier and I can get cookies in the crate. High value reward for being in the crate. And so I didn't say anything to him. I just took him out and made the game so much easier. Can you do this short? The crate isn't an option. Oh, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. That's exactly how I train my dogs. It doesn't matter if it's a new puppy that I'm training to be an amazing family pet, or if it's my world team agility dog that I'm training to be a better agility dog. Exactly the way I ask them questions. Do you know how to answer this question? If the answer is no, I don't. And how do they answer no, I don't? By doing an undesired behavior. That doesn't make the dog bad. It doesn't make the dog wrong. It means we didn't train the dog to the degree we thought we did, or we put the dog in an environment that we hadn't tested before, or that we thought might be successful, but wasn't. All right. So I hope all this is making sense, because I'm really going at a deep level on low foundation layers, right? A deep level on low foundation layers, because I would love for everybody to train their dogs this way. It's so engaging for you. It's empowering that dog. We're giving the dog autonomy to choose, but then we create success on how we design our training. All right. Did you want me to address the question you asked before I went over there? I can't remember what.
Well, because you were doing it. So how many games do you do in a session? Right?
Oh,
because you were doing.
Okay. So Linda said there was a question that came through. How many games would I do in a session? And it really depends on the dog. So with little Charlie, I started off by like getting her to tug. And so then I worked on delivery of the cookie, and she was jumping at my hand. So then I worked on It's Your Choice. And when I got her engagement, I then started working on targeting the mat, which was a very big mat. And then that would have been for sure at the end of that session, what I did, I tried to get the toy back and tug again. She said, no, you gave me some really good cookies. I can't tug. Okay, that's a great question. We worked through that in the end of the session, and she did tug. So in that short little training session, Linda just said there were 6 different games that I worked. All right. So these layers all come together to create such clarity for the dogs. All right. It's Your Choice. I was confused by carrying. So in the video, It's Your Choice, I start with actually carrying. Let's pretend this is my bowl of soup. Some people around here might eat a dog dish. Kim said it wasn't a dog dish, but it looked like one. So if I was carrying this dish, I don't know that he would do it, but he might jump up on it if I get him excited. So the first layer of It's Your Choice, pretend this is a human dish. Bubble break. Whoa, I'm walking. Whoa. Now, how long ago? Like 2 months ago, he would have for sure jumped up on this. Hop it up. Stop. So good, so good. So the first layer is I'm walking with my dinner dish, and in the season of Nuance, and I said, if the dog doesn't jump up, take a dog treat, and you can take it from your plate if you got your hands full, and just tell the dog, search or cook. So the question is, I'm confused about carrying your plate of food and rewarding the dog from part 1. Won't this teach the dog to come and beg whenever he sees a plate of food? Becky, you are 100% correct. It would if this was a practice you did on a routine basis. This is a very thin layer that I said we are going to establish that 4 on the floor is what we want. And I mentioned in the season of Nuance that we don't want to do this on a repeated basis for exactly that reason. We don't want the dog to think, oh, I see your plate, therefore you're going to feed me from it. Okay. Second question. My dog has worked It's Your Choice stages. Treats, sitting, or thrown until given a release word. When the game is over, though, we notice her floor surfing to find remnants of the pile. What are your thoughts? I don't want to create a floor sniffer. So I have 2 questions. Number 1, Mary, did you have a floor sniffer before? Almost snore flipper. Did you have a snore flipper before? Because I think all dogs sniff the floor and look for remnants, right? But if that's something you don't want, which is something I don't want, then It's Your Choice has to stop being just a game. It has to grow into the fabric of your day. It's everyday life. So I might.
We talked about extremes this morning.
So I can't remember. We talked about a lot of dog training stuff this morning. So yes, play It's Your Choice. It's got to start though. It's got to start as a game. But you don't go, okay, she's ignoring treats in my hand. She's ignoring treats on the floor. I'm going to the bunny farm. Can you ignore the bunnies as they're ripping around? So we're going to build in those layers. I'll tell you, if I'm doing something like, I know with one of my puppies, I'll give you, this is just probably too deep, probably too much of a nuance, but I'm going to give it to you anyway because we're talking about the season of nuance. If I'm training and my dog, like I throw a cookie and they say search, I say search, and then they're coming back and they, oh, I think a crumb fell off that cookie that you were throwing, and they sniff that. Here's what I do. I take a handful of cookies and I put them in a pile right on the spot they thought might have had a piece of food. I want them to know it's the same thing. You think there was a little sniffle there? Well, there's a great big old meal now. Can you work when there's a sniffle? Ignore all sniffles, ignore all meals.
And you also need the other layers of cook and search.
Right. So cook, search, and chow, which are, we teach you in the season of nuance, they're all there. You can get those that will help them understand when they can go for cookies off the floor. Okay, the gap. We work on gap at the very beginning, then a bit longer. So growing the gap, and I always say the learning happens in the gap between when I say cook and when I reward, the gap in when I mark the behavior and when I deliver it. But we want that to be really, really close right at first, right? Because the learning happens in the gap. So the question from Dorta, we work on the gap at the beginning, very short, then growing it a bit longer. I wonder how long the gap can be and still be associated with the cue. Is it possible to determine where the upper limit is? And has there been any scientific research on it? Yes. There has been a lot of scientific research on it. I can't remember who did the paper, but their assumption was they could grow this to hours. And what they figured out, it actually was more than a day. I can't remember the paper. But just know, like, we need to grow the timing between the behavior and when they get the reward, especially like if you're doing competition obedience, that it isn't, it can be innately reinforcing, but maybe it isn't for all dogs. Therefore, you have to build up duration so that you can complete, if you're doing like IPO, an 11-minute heel pattern before the dog can leave the room and get that reinforcement. So yes, you can build it up to be hours if you wanted to. I have never tried because I have no real, I mean, I do with my dogs, they get other reinforcement, which isn't what they expect. So I can walk my dogs around the field for days and not give them food rewards or toy rewards. The reward would be like, all my dogs, I can walk in heel position with one cue, tell them with me, and they won't leave my side for one whole lap, which is a kilometer. And I'm sure I could go further, but out of curiosity, I just tried it. 1 kilometer, it's not a problem. So yes, you can. The question is, what do you need a huger duration for? Okay.
When you were reading the gems this morning, you were talking about reward process, and you said that the gems picked up a thing that I thought that's a good opening.
So yeah, the ones that were misunderstood are the ones that were missed. So actually, where's my phone? Did I bring my phone over? I screen capped some of those. So Linda wanted me to talk about the last live, the gems that I shared that I think maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're sharing as a gem, or you misunderstood what I said. So this first one is, I don't remember Susan's exact words, but the gem for me was using a bait bag transfer value to a bait bag instead of a task and interferes with the dog's learning. So absolutely it can, but you notice I use a bait bag and it doesn't interfere with my dog's learning. So it can, if you are rewarding in a system that tells the dog, see the reward, try and chase it, try to get it, try to dive into my bait bag and get it. But if you instill, it's your choice. It should be white noise. So I can have a radio on that doesn't interfere with my dog's learning. Now, maybe it was super loud, but generally is not going to. My bait bag shouldn't. So that was one gem that I'm like, let's just make sure that you're, the other one I didn't screen cap, but I can remember there were several people that said something similar, that the learning stops with when the dog sees the reinforcement. So I want to remind you that reinforcement is a process. And so if you said to your dog, do you want to go outside? They're going to already be in that process of reinforcement. And that reinforcement goes all the way to the door till you release them, and then they can go out. So the dog doesn't necessarily stop learning. If you've got great, it's your choice in place. Cookies can be everywhere. So as I did with Waffles, there were 2 bowls of cookies on the ground. He could see the reinforcement I was going to give him, but that doesn't mean he didn't learn. He did learn, didn't he? Don't go to the crate. Don't stop short. Go and get the toy. So 100% is possible. You're looking at the comments to make sure that anything that I'm saying isn't. Yeah. Okay, good.
I've seen this comment a few times. I just wanted to say to you, is using cook and search a marker?
So yes. So we have many location-specific reinforcement markers, and then we have just markers or bridges. Some marine mammals will refer to it as a bridge. So a marker could be a click. A marker could be, one ear goes up. A marker could be, I use the word good as a marker. I used to use the word yes a lot as a marker, but we also have markers that we don't even realize we're doing. The word ready, that could be a marker that something is amazing is about to happen. So there's the difference between markers and the spotlights we're teaching, the location-specific reinforcement markers. You notice I said cook to him, and he didn't get off the bench. If I put cookies in a bowl, this will be a big test for him. How well does the 10-month-old? I know I can put my border collie up there, and he would get this. I'm going to test it. So I'm going to put cookies in the bowl here. I'm going to put the bowl on the floor. I'm going to engage with him first. Good boy. Cook. So he knows that doesn't mean come off and get your cookie. Right? So he knows that that doesn't mean come off and get your cookie. Now I'm going to say search. Will he take that? So he maybe doesn't understand this one as well. He doesn't know the difference. Okay. Habitat. Oh, maybe you call him. Here. Search. There we go. I'll do this with a border collie because the puppy is just learning. So the puppy knows to go for the bowl when he hears his spotlight chow, but he doesn't know not to. Okay. So Prophet, can you go Happet on that one? I know that's the puppies. Come here. Habitat. I'm sleeping. So I'll put.
I gotta go back.
I'll put the bowl.
If there's a delay for me.
I want you to be able to see it. And you know what? This bowl is crappy because it's the same color as the floor. So I'm going to put a piece of roasted chicken in there. Oh my goodness gracious. Where can you guys
you're caught up to me.
There we go. So it's over there. Now I'm going to say cook. He's not going to leave when I say cook. I'm going to throw this. Search. Mister, you just blew my job. Try that again. You see, I didn't try to stop him. I'll just move this further away now. And I'll put this cookie this way. Search. Thank you. Appetite. Cook. Nice. I'll try it again. Search. Good decision, child. Good boy. So his cue chow means you can have the food out of the bowl. Okay, Fat, come here. You can get in your bed over here.
So your location-specific markers are very clear. You showed those off right now. People are still curious about yes and clickers. Where do you use those?
Yes and clickers. I use them. Let me separate. Clickers I use when there's a very specific thing that I'm trying to reinforce. That it marks a moment in time. So it is a tool that when I want precision, I will use that. So for example, you could, if you were having brain surgery, the brain surgeon could choose to use a melon baller or a laser to crack your melon or to cut into your brain. So I would choose the laser. That's the tool for the job. If you're teaching your dog, what's an example people use this one for? That is, so no, but that they shouldn't be. So if I was teaching my dogs to lift their back feet or maybe even to back up a little bit, I might use this. Or if I wanted them to sit up, I would wait till they sit. So if I was shaping something that was so exact, that's about the only time I would use a clicker. I purposely use a clicker maybe once a month just so that Kim's doing a little test. He didn't look at the bowl. What a good boy. I would use a clicker about once a month to either teach an agility, like running contacts. The problem is, I think everyone should have a fun time with this, but just recognize it's a very particular tool. The word yes or good is more general. I will use yes or good in times because I don't always have to follow that up with food. It marks, I like what you're doing. Keep it up. If I ever click a clicker, always follow it up with a reinforcement, 100%. Same with the word cook or the word strike or the word chow or the word search, right? What about get it?
Is that your shoe?
Oh, so you can use get it. I used to use get it instead of search, but it was pretty generic. So I made searches more specific. Look for food. Get it could be a toy or food, really. Okay. My dog really enjoys the collar grab, which is one of the lessons in the season of Nuanced, DoggyFlix, and did almost exactly what Susan's dog did. Yay, you. But this morning when we played, she lunged for the treat when she heard the word cook. Okay, that means you've done a great job teaching that marker. I love it. I kind of instinctively pulled her away the first time, but she kept doing it. What am I doing wrong and how can I fix this? I don't want to teach the wrong behavior. This is from Bella. Bella, what it tells me is you've done an amazing job teaching value for the word cook. Game number 3 is it's your choice. So if I said the word cook and my dog came in, cook means stay where you're at and I'll bring you the food. As my grandpa used to say from Newfoundland, stay where you're at till I come where you're to. That's what cook means. That should be the new byline for cook. Stay where you're at till I come where you're to. So what I would do if my dog lunged is I would close my hand and I would wait till the dog moved away. And then I would go, do you remember this game? Yeah. And then, you know what? You don't go diving for cookies. But in the season of Nuance, the game cook comes before the game it's your choice. And it's specific. It was very intentional. Every game that I'm teaching is in a specific order. Why is it specific? We're building a relationship first. We want the dog to show you their heart. We don't want them to, and then once they're like, oh, this is so much fun. I love this. And oh, I love it. Then we can say, all right, now there's another new rule. You don't come flying at me. So that is another rule. We go into these deep discussions in our platinum group. So some of you are already in our platinum group. And if you go to DoggyFlix.com, which again, the whole program there is 100% free, but you have an opportunity to join our platinum level. And why would you do that? I think today's the last day to join it, actually. Why would you do that? Number one, we have this ebook that the team and I have been putting together over the last month or so. And training breakthroughs, your 5-step process to transforming your dog's behavior. And it's a template to help you work through any challenge that you may have with your dog. So that I would think is worth the $50 that Platinum is. But you also get Zoom calls with me where, and you don't even have to be there because we have them recorded and you can go back and you can watch them. You can ask us questions. We go into a deep dive on all of the things about the season of Nuance, about specific to your dog. Well, my dog does this, Susan. Okay, here's what I think is going on, and here's what we can try differently. So the Platinum level, I recommend for everybody. Brand new pet owner, brand new puppy owner. You're having a challenge. You don't know how to help. You just get a deeper level. Myself and 2 or 3 of my coaches will be on each call that we do. We have 3 Zooms. And so, yeah, that's Platinum level. And oh yeah, we have prizes, like amazing prizes. Each of the 3 Zoom calls we do is a draw, and each of those prizes is worth well over $200. So that's what the Platinum level is. Okay, so get to the
Susan. Do these episodes help them solve all the little things that they have, the challenges they have in their dog training, or some portion thereof?
So the question is, do the games that are in the season of Nuance, do they help me solve some or a portion of the dog training problems that I have? 100%. What I'm teaching you is the foundation layer of how I train my own dogs, the foundational layers. From there, once you have that relationship with your dog, that you don't dive on when I open the training bag, you don't dive in and take the toy you want and ripple ground. You don't dive into my bait bag. That by the end of the season of Nuance, you will have a dog who now says, I get it. You know how my brain works. We can work as a team now. This is awesome. And so you've got a foundation. From there, you may choose to join us in Recallers, which we're going to be opening registrations for that, I think next week. Yeah, next Monday. Where in Recallers, we continue to build all these layers. We get a dog who will happily chill out for an hour while you're doing a call. We'll get a dog who will retrieve toys, who will walk by your side, who will come when they're called, even if they're chasing a squirrel. So that's all of the things that we build upon in Recallers. But regardless if you don't join Recallers or not, you've got this amazing foundation moving forward. Okay. We can't answer all of these, but we will get, if any of these questions are from our Platinums, we will answer these in Platinum, but we can't answer all of them. But is there any that you really want me to get to, Linda?
We're going to talk about Taylor's question today from the live stream. I'm hoping to get a little clarity between these 2 layers. It's your choice and hand targeting. So those are 2 games we've been playing so far. And my dog is happy to bump into the empty hand after several times of the hand appearing with a treat or a cook and eating it. So as she goes in to feed, he wants to bump her hand on a cook. Like she goes to feed the cook and the dog wants to bump.
So we're dropping cookies in with a hand target, right? So if the dog is bumping and you're dropping cookies, I don't see a problem with that. Shows that there's great value for that hand target. That's amazing. I always think I'm being lazy. I don't want to do more than a few minutes, and that the puppy isn't really learning enough, from Laura. Okay, so you know what, Laura, I wouldn't call yourself lazy. I would actually please don't call yourself anything that can have a negative connotation for your subconscious. You might be super busy, as many of us are, and at the end of the day, you go, crap, I didn't get to train my puppy as much as I want. It's not the quantity. Oh, did you release him? It's not the quantity of training that you do, it's the quality of the training you do. If the training involves the dog making decisions, if the training is the dog It's funny. He was so good when Kim wasn't here, and he's very antsy. Now, it could be, again, it could be that I'm supposed to be doing something if my mom's here. But when Kim wasn't here, it's like, oh, auntie, she doesn't always do something with me. Or it could be truly that he's a puppy who's not had a lot to do today. So it doesn't matter what it is. So with a puppy, like, people get wrapped up into their brain that they have to train for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour. If with a puppy, you did these games and did them, if you could get in 5-minute sessions 3 times a day, oh my gosh, you will have a rock star. And the games help exhaust the puppy. That plus some enrichment games like food puzzles, like, and then of course taking the puppy outside and getting them to chase you, doing some recalls, like all of those things go towards an exhausted puppy 100%. And I don't want you to feel like you're being lazy. Life gets in the way. Sometimes you have to put an alarm on your phone and schedule that time. Okay. So from Linda, should I do the same thing I do training is your choice with treats to my popcorn bowl? I just figured out that was a no-no. So I'm not sure what that means.
You know what? I think it's like where people start to realize that It's Your Choice isn't just a party game.
Ah, right.
Right? The ice cubes,
We had a dog in recallers, and anytime somebody got ice cubes from the refrigerator, like, she would practically dent the door. The dog would fly from anywhere and hammer the fridge door. So that's just, it's your choice. And with the understanding of recaller games, the dog learned, yeah, okay, I don't need to hammer the door every time somebody gets ice from the refrigerator. See, we all get shaped by dogs. So what happens when the dog hammers the refrigerator because someone's getting ice? We go and buy an ice bag and we put it, if you want ice, open the fridge door and there's a bag in there. Or we get like a little bin we put, if we're having a party, please don't take ice from the fridge. My dog's going to assault you.
Or we feed them from the ice machine for 4 weeks before we go.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people reinforce behaviors they don't want to see repeated. So we laugh at it, et cetera, et cetera. Exactly. Okay. So we're going to give away a prize. We're going to give away the share winner from today. Is that actually a name?
It's from Instagram.
So our share winner came from both Instagram and Brazil. And the Instagram name is Fada Dos Dog Adesha. Oh, I think I got that right. I don't know. Hi to all my friends in Brazil. I did a dog training seminar there a few years ago and had a blast. I had some really good food. It's important. So before you guys leave, Fada Dos Dog Adesha, congratulations. And I know somebody on my team is going to actually write your name so you'll be able to recognize it. And you win a For My Morals tug toy. And if you're watching this after we were live on replay, and if you share, we're going to give away another For My Morals tug toy on our next live for everybody. So if you already shared, you don't have to share again. If you're watching this on YouTube, the way YouTube works is you have to wait till the live stream closes and then put your comments. So if you shared on YouTube and you put a comment in there, you have to come back and write, share it and where you did it to be in the draw. I don't know why YouTube does that, but as long as you're over there, give this video a like as well, because you know what? That helps more people see it, helps more people learn about this amazing way we train dogs. I'm going to give away another Propel. And I'm also, the Blue Nine make a really cool harness. It's a harness that, do you remember the name of it? Yeah. It'll come to me. Is it comfort? No, it's comfort. No, it's not. Balance. That's not a good name, but that's the name of it. The balance harness. It gives the dog a lot of free movement through the shoulder. I really like it. We're going to give away 2 prizes. So 2 gems. First gem's going to get the harness. The second gem's going to get one of my favorite pieces of fitness equipment for the dog. Yeah, it's a balance harness. It's a great harness. It's a great harness. And I'm sure you tell them what size you want, and they'll send you the size appropriate for your dog or your puppy. And I think everybody should have one of these. I don't use a ton of inflatable props. This one I love, especially with puppies. Okay, so how are you going to win one of those? If you go to you can do this in YouTube once the video has, like, the live ends. You can do this on YouTube. You can do this on our Facebook page. You're going to see a post for a gem. And on Facebook, on YouTube, just come back to this video. Right? What was your aha from this? Was there something that you said, oh, I haven't thought about it this way before, that would bring value to somebody else reading the comments? That they would go, oh, I got to see how she taught that and watch this video. Put that in the comments, either on Facebook or over on YouTube. And we're going to pick 2 gem winners when we come live again. And that is on Thursday the 29th at 1 p.m. So we're going to give away 3 prizes to start off that live. So 1 for shares of the video and 2 for gems. Thank you guys for your comments, because your comments, your questions that you ask over on Netflix, those are what shape what I teach in these. All right. Or DoggyFlix. What did I say? Netflix? Oh, on DoggyFlix. And purposely, when we were talking about who to use as a demo dog, and Kim said, oh, these are all the reasons he might not be a great demo dog today, because he's been in a car, he hasn't been exercised, I'm like, that's great. If he is not perfect, it allows people to see in a reinforcement-based system, how do we deal with failure? How do we deal with mistakes? It's never about what the dog did. It's about knowing our dogs are doing the best they can with the education we've given them in the environment we've put them in. And if things aren't going the way you want, if the dog isn't giving you the behavior you want, then you've got to ask, is it the environment that I put them in? Or is it that my training is incomplete? So one of those 2 things, you don't need to know the right answer. You just work on more of both. I hope this makes sense to you. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you on Thursday, 1 p.m.